Welcome, one and all, back to the Viper's Nest, where today we're going to be talking about something kind of, sort of, mildly serious. Obviously, I'm not playing Sunless Skies right now. I apparently jinxed myself with that schedule idea I put out because I found out today my son has a doctor's appointment, so we're going to try again tomorrow. Anyway, but on the good side of things, I did finish a game I've been playing for a while, and it's this game. What is my daughter doing downstairs? God, what a noise you get. Anyway, so I finished this game right here, Lost Judgment, which is the second game in the Judgement series, which is a spin-off of the Yakuza series, where you play as a detective. And, Lost Judgment it's one of the best, if not the best, story I've seen told in a Yakuza-verse game. It's incredible. I'm not going to spoil it too much because, just like the other games, it's definitely one you should play for yourself if you ever get the chance. But what I wanted to talk about was some of the content of the story. So, I guess this isn't really spoilers. You find it out in like the first act of the game, but one of the central themes of the story presented in Lost Judgment is bullying and the consequences of bullying. You find out that there's a kid, he was a bully, he got murdered because he was a bully, and this story also involves another kid who attempted to kill himself because he was the victim of bullying. And the reason I'm talking about it today is because I feel, probably not a whole lot of people are going to hear this, but it's still important nonetheless. Bullying is a very real thing. It's a very real problem. And as a person who was a victim of bullying myself, the story of Lost Judgment, it hits really, really freaking close to home. So if you were a victim of bullying and you decide to play this game, be prepared to get hit right in the feels because it presents bullying in a very harsh, realistic light, which, that's kind of an oddity for Yakuza games. They're dramatic, sure, but they tend to be over the top about it, because it's a video game and you're supposed to have fun playing them. And I'm not saying I didn't have fun playing Lost Judgment, because I absolutely did, but, like I said, just, the story really does hit close to home. So I'm not going to talk about too much of the game today, because like I said, I don't want to spoil it, because, even if it did dredge up some old feelings for me, the story itself is still absolutely incredible. It's so well written. But, so I guess today's less a lore video, less a review video, and just kind of more me venting about, bullying, because it's still a problem even today. People are getting bullied. So, back when I was getting bullied, well, I say back when, it never really stopped until I hit adulthood, but whatever. The point is, I was a victim of bullying pretty much from the get-go, and it's because I was, I still am. I was a really weird-looking kid, and, here's why. I was built like a stick. I was really, really pale because I didn't go outside much because I used to get sick a lot. And, during the winter months, my lips would get awfully chapped. So they would be, bright red. It would make it look like I'm wearing lipstick. I'd be usually hunched over because still have, probably just about the worst nearsightedness that anyone can actually have without being blind. So I had the gigantic Coke bottle glasses. Yeah, I was a freaking weird looking kid, man. And because of that, I attracted bullies. I'm pretty sure if you looked up the term bully magnet, you'd probably find something resembling a picture of me as a elementary school kid next to it. So because of that, essentially, kindergarten all the way through 4th grade were just fucking miserable for me. It was nonstop bullying, and the thing about it is that bullying back in the mid 90s it still has like some of the same problems that bullying in today's world has, in that I mean, kids, we say kids are stupid, but kids can be fucking smart. And like a big problem with like real world bullying, as well as the bullying case presented in Lost Judgment, is lack of proof. Like obviously teachers are not allowed to really physically stop students from doing this thing, and they couldn't, even if they did, somehow get proof. Like when I was bullied, it always happened where the teachers watching the playground wouldn't be able to see it. So even if I tried to tell them about it, which I did, they couldn't do anything about it because can't put your hands on a student, and there's no real proof. So we can't punish the bullies without proof. It's a shitty like blind spot in the system, I guess, is that nothing can be done without proof, and proof of bullying is incredibly hard to find because you show up with bruises or whatever, and it's like, well, I mean, yes, those bruises could be from bullying, from getting beaten, but also it's kids on a playground. We don't have any proof that the bullies did the thing, so our hands are tied. The worst we can do is give them a stern talking to, and then they just kind of go on without any real consequence, and it sucks. Anyway, so like I said, my kindergarten year through 4th grade were miserable, but I managed to be one of the lucky ones, I guess, and I had a very, very smart, very tough dad who essentially helped guide me through this. Like, once he figured out what was going on, because once I told him, I was afraid to, because nobody fucking else was really listening, and even if they were, nothing could be done about it. So eventually I went to my dad, and he sat me down and essentially explained the situation. It's like, all right, well, there's a couple of things you can do. You've already tried, asking for help. Help was not forthcoming. You can try to befriend the bullies, which that was not a freaking option at the time. You could either sit there and take it, which I didn't really want to do, or you could fight back and make it not worth the time for the bullies to bully you. Now, before I even go any further in the story, I am not condoning violence in any way. I'm only speaking of it because in my particular instance, I didn't have a fucking choice in the matter. So, my dad enrolled me in martial arts class, and even then, it took me all the way up until almost 4th grade before I was anywhere near competent enough to actually defend myself from the bullies, which I eventually did. It became to the point where I was dishing out just as much pain as I was taking, and eventually the bullying stopped because they decided it was not worth it, and they went and found a different target, which is another shitty thing. So, best case scenario, if you are getting bullied and help from, the faculty of your school or college or wherever really you're getting bullied is not forthcoming, the best thing, hopefully, that you can do is constantly surrounding yourself with your friends. So this was not an option for me because it was elementary school, and understand that I don't hold this against my friends at all because, like I said, we were in elementary school, and if you present an elementary school kid with the option of getting involved in something that's going to cause them pain, or, staying out of it and not receiving pain, and they're elementary school kids. They don't want to get hurt. They're probably 9 times out of 10 going to choose not to get involved with the thing that causes them pain. But if it's like high school or maybe even middle school, if you can surround yourself with a large enough group of people that care about you, then that might be a good deterrent for the people who are bullying you, because strength in numbers is simply a natural thing. And, even if you or your friends are not good at fighting at all, having people there who are willing to take the licks with you or, shield you from harm, if you attract a big enough crowd, the bullies might leave you alone. So that's really the best thing you can do, at least in the instance of bullying that I was involved in. Now, here's the other thing. The face of bullying has changed quite a lot since the mid-1990s. Like, back in the mid-90s, the internet was not what it is now. It was like we were still working off of dial-up when I was in elementary school. So cyberbullying was essentially non-existent. And I don't know, the cyberbullying, as stupid as this is going to sound, comes with pros and cons. Like, the pro of cyberbullying is that it's a lot easier to possibly, have proof of cyberbullying. Like, even if it's just taking a screenshot or whatever of a threatening message. But then you do open the whole can of worms as well. This screenshot could be photoshopped or whatever. So, unfortunately, like I said, bullies are smart when they want to be. So they could, post something on your social media feed that would constitute cyberbullying, make sure you see it, and then take it down before anyone else can look at it. And that's a shitty thing. Like, I personally have never been a victim of cyberbullying. Well, okay, that's not entirely true. I've been the victim of an attempt of cyberbullying. It didn't work. The guy doing it was just so incredibly stupid that it was more funny than it was bullying. But point remains, I'm not belittling cyberbullying. It's a very real thing, and people have, in fact, taken their own lives over it, which is a horrible, horrible thing. And honestly, I can't really even give you any advice on what to do if you're being cyberbullied, other than, I guess the term nowadays is save the receipts. Like, when it happens, take screenshots of it. Make sure you have absolute proof that this is a thing that's happening, so then the people in charge might actually be able to do something about it, even though that might not be anything other than, suspending the person from school, or, taking away internet privileges. Yeah, I got nothing for cyberbullying. Good grief. Aowen, what are you doing downstairs? My daughter really likes to make noise, if you can't tell. I think maybe her grandma is tickling her? Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, back to the thing. So, the only other thing I could possibly offer for cyberbullying is, just like with regular bullying, surround yourself with, friends and family and people who care about you, and, travel as a group, I guess, on the internet. Maybe if you're getting cyberbullied, or somebody is getting cyberbullied, call on that group of friends for help. Have them, surround you and be willing to, talk and, I guess, air quotes, fight back for you. That's really, again, it's the best possible scenario I can think of for bullying, is just strength in numbers. Have yourself a support system. Have people that you can go to for help, even if it's just, a sympathetic shoulder to lean on. Even that can go a really, really long way. And, naturally, if you're contemplating thoughts of suicide, well, I don't want to be stereotypical about it and say, call the suicide hotline. Like, I don't know. Even at the worst of my bullying, I never considered taking my own life because, well, I mean, as far as I know, I'm sure I'm wrong, but elementary school kids don't really think about such things. At least I never did, but I don't know. Just, like I said, have people around you who are willing to give you help when you need it. Like, just having friends, from what I understand, can go a long way to preventing, people from doing anything drastic, taking their own lives, self-harm, whatever. Having a support system, having people who care about you is a big step in the right direction for having help against those particular kinds of situations. Man, yeah, the face, cyberbullying, man. Bullying really has changed. Like, I don't want to seem like an old man, but it's like, man, back in my day, bullying was face-to-face, and we solved it with our fists, which, to a degree, is true, because, like I said, the internet was still an up-and-coming thing, so essentially bullying had to be face-to-face, or even over the phone. I mean, I never got phone bullied or anything, because, I don't know, that just seems kind of stupid, but I'm imagining it could have been a thing, threatening phone calls and whatnot. Yeah, I don't really know where I'm going with this anymore. It's just, yeah, like I said, if you're being bullied, get help. Even if it's just a large group of close friends to rally around you. It can help. It can help. I know it can. Bullying sucks. It needs to stop, but bullying's been a problem for so long and is just in such an evolved form at this point that I don't really know how we would be able to stop it without becoming like a full-blown fucking surveillance state, which I mean, I'm pretty sure the United States is getting close to that already anyway, but not for the specific reasons of stopping bullying. Anyway, you should play Lost Judgment. Well, you should play Judgment first, and then you should play Lost Judgment, because they're both really freaking good video games. Yeah, that was the original point I was making, and just be careful, because it dredges up feelings. Yeah, and also, I'm not going to mention the names of my bullies, because what happened between us was, essentially between us, and also, weirdly enough, the age-old adage of, oh, they'll eventually grow out of it, which is another thing people like to say. Well, in the case of two of my bullies, that was actually true. They did grow out of it. They did get themselves turned around, and I'm actually pretty close friends with both of them now, which, I mean, I guess I did end up befriending my bullies. It just didn't happen until, my junior year of high school. Yeah, so anyway, to leave off, if you're being bullied, get your friends to help. If you can, enroll in a self-defense class. Martial arts, like I did. It helped, but granted, like I said, I'm not condoning violence. I'm simply stating that in my particular instance, I didn't have a choice, really. That was my last resort, and I did resort to it. So, if you're being bullied, seek help wherever you can. Definitely from your friends and family. Get yourself trained in self-defense. Even if you're not being bullied, taking martial arts and self-defense classes can be good for you. I'd say it got me in shape, but all I can really say about that is I'm less of a toothpick now than I was, 20 plus years ago. But yeah, martial arts can be a very good, helpful thing even if you're not being bullied. So just, keep your head up, take stock of yourself, get in touch with yourself, make sure that you know what you need, whether it's help, self-defense training, whatever. Mental health is important just as much as physical health is. So, thank you for listening to my ramble. A like and a subscribe would be appreciated. Not necessary. I won't judge you if you don't. Stay safe out there. Keep your head up. And as always, have yourself a wonderful day.